Carson Palmer, Heisman Trophy winner at USC, former NFL quarterback. His appearance brought to you by our partner, Level Select CBD. Looking for your next level relief? Visit levelselectcbd.com. Let me start with the Rams and Matthew Stafford last night. Could it have gone any better for Matthew Stafford?
No, it was great to see him in a different uniform, surrounded by a ton of talent. Obviously, a great coach on his sideline, and I think we'll continue to see him flourish as the season moves forward, and we see him to get more and more comfortable with those guys around him.
But you also have a quarterback who didn't have talent in Detroit. Like, how much can we put on Matthew Stafford with the failures of the Lions? Because we're going to give him a lot of credit with the Rams because he has talent, but the quarterback gets too much credit and too much blame.
True, but at the same time, I think the quarterback position is really it's so important to have the right organization surrounding you. There's been plenty of quarterbacks that have gone to the right place and had much better careers in the right place, the right organization, than them going to a bad organization like Detroit. I mean, Detroit's been struggling for a long time. You know, we've heard the stories, inside and out from back in the days. And Stafford was there for 12 years. He gave it his best shot. He had some talent around him at times, but seeing him in LA with that kind of offense, that kind of system, and there was a lot of talk about him not being able to play the game outside the pocket and do all the bootlegs and play action stuff that they did. But man, he looked good last night, getting outside the pocket and throwing on the run.
But these rookie quarterbacks come in and they're ready to go. Or at least we think they are. But the mental part of this, though, Carson, I'm curious about, because you sat your first year behind John Kitna. But, like, physically, were you more ready than mentally, or maybe the other way around?
Oh, these guys are coming into the league physically ready. I mean, these are, look at Trey Lance in San Francisco. I mean, physically gifted, quick, fast, explosive arm, accurate. But it just takes some time. I mean, it just takes that, a couple seasons of getting used to being on third down, third and long, backed up in your own territory, in the red zone with the game on the line. There's so many things that you need as a quarterback to develop. And a majority of those things you need outside of having a great organization and a really good play caller is experience. And until these young guys have experience and a bunch of plays and a bunch of different situations under their belt, they're not completely mentally ready. But these guys are coming into the league right now physically ready, without a doubt.
How overwhelmed did you feel first year starting?
Well, I had that first year to sit and rest, so I didn't feel overwhelmed. But had I played in that week one game my rookie year, I absolutely would have felt overwhelmed. I mean, there's so much you don't know about this game. And like I said, it just takes reps and it takes experience.
Yeah, and I'm always curious about that. Then you have a bad game, and then it stays with, like, the pros are able, the veterans can move on. Like, you have to have a short memory, it feels like. But it feels like a rookie is going to hold on to that bad interception he had or a bad loss a little bit longer.
Absolutely. I mean, until you've proven yourself to your teammates that you can get over a bad loss, a bad play that lost a game, until you can prove that to your teammates and yourself, you don't know. I mean, if you can go to college like Kyler Murray did at Oklahoma and in 1 year go out there and play amazing and win a Heisman Trophy and almost a national championship. But until you do it at the NFL level, until you prove it to yourself, hey, I can go out in week one and lay an egg, and I can bounce back in week two and have 110 passer rating. You don't know you can do it until you do it. And you're seeing some of these young guys struggle. I mean, you watched Trevor Lawrence play yesterday, and it was a struggle. But that kid has the right mentality, the right makeup. I expect him to bounce back. It might not be in week two. It might not be in week three. But I would pretty much take any bet right now saying that Trevor Lawrence is not going to be a bust. He will be a successful NFL quarterback.
How do you explain Aaron Rodgers yesterday?
Man, this position, even when you're Aaron Rodgers, the position of quarterback is so difficult. When you put extra pressure on yourself, I mean, Aaron has asked for all the pressure, all the criticism you could possibly ever ask for. And it is so difficult, even when you're as talented and gifted as Aaron, there's a lot of pressure on him to succeed. There's a lot of pressure on him to perform. It just goes to show you that even Aaron Rodgers can get rattled. He looked rattled from the jump. I mean, he looked like he was uncomfortable. He couldn't settle in and find his feet. He was harassed all day in the pocket. And that might be a little bit of this offseason catching up to him. There's no doubt in my mind Aaron will bounce back and have a Pro Bowl type caliber year. No doubt about it. But he looked extremely rattled yesterday.
How do you explain Patrick Mahomes to those who might not have witnessed Patrick Mahomes?
He's magic. There's a couple of guys in the league. They are just magicians. Russell Wilson jumps out at the top of my mind. He just does things that you don't expect him to be able to do. Patrick Mahomes, as much as we think he's great and he's got this big arm and he's Houdini, he just makes some plays that we didn't even think he could make. But there's just a handful of guys in this league right now that have magic about them, and he's one of them.
Talking to Carson Palmer, former NFL quarterback and, of course, Heisman Trophy winner. Are gloves performance enhancing?
Absolutely not.
For a wide receiver?
No. I mean, they're when I think of performance enhancing, I think like everybody else, you think of something you're injecting or ingesting in some form or another. But if putting on gloves is performance enhancing, then so are shoulder pads and helmets.
Well, but it helps you catch the ball.
Yeah, and a pair of shoulder pads help you tackle somebody.
Yeah, but a previous generation didn't have this.
Well, the previous generation didn't have the technology in their helmets and their shoulder pads that we have today.
How much does that help, having that technology in your helmet, when you have somebody who can calm you down, whisper to you while you're getting ready to call your play or getting up to the line of scrimmage?
Well, you don't have that much time to have a shrink jump on your headset and calm you down and talk. You only got 25 seconds. You got to get the play in, you got to relay the play, and then get the snap off. But I do think that technology is great because, especially as I got older in the league, I was way too fat and out of shape to run from the huddle to the sideline and back and forth in between every play, getting the play. So I needed that break to stand in the huddle and hear it through my headset.
Do you need to be in shape to be a quarterback?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Unlike pitchers, I've always heard people say that pitchers have to be in great shape to be a pitcher. I think you got to be in even better shape to play quarterback in the NFL.
Did you not lift? Did you not run? Like, what happened that you got fat?
I got old. I shouldn't have said fat. I just got old and I got tired, and all those hits start adding up. Having to go back and forth and shuttle plays in and out when I was 20, 22, 23 would have been a lot easier than when I was 38. So thankfully, when I was in my late 30s, I had that headset on.
You ever call a timeout because you're too tired?
Absolutely. I got to the bottom of a scrum, and it was a fumbled snap, and I had gotten back down on top of it. Everybody was laying on top of me, and I was playing for Bruce Arians in Arizona, and I was holding onto the ball so tightly, and somebody from the opposing team was trying to rip it out of my hands that my hand went numb, and I was worried that the next play was going to be a pass, and sure enough, Bruce called a pass. And the feeling hadn't come back in my hands yet because it was so fatigued for holding onto a ball and trying to maintain possession at the bottom of a pile. I had to call a timeout.
What's it like having Arians talk to you?
It's great. I mean, you look at Tampa Bay play now, and Brady doesn't have to deal with Arians MFing him in the huddle and over the headset because he's got Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays.
Wait, Arians is MFing you while he's your offensive coordinator?
All game long. Me or the ref or somebody on the opposing team, he would hit that button on his recorder, and half of what he said was the play. The other half was him MFing the ref, or maybe me from the previous play, or somebody on the other sideline. But now that he can just coach the game and handle everything from the 40,000-foot level, and Byron Leftwich is calling plays, he seems like his blood pressure's dropped, and he just seems like he's in a happier place.
But how does that – I mean, Brady wanted to play with Bruce Arians. Do you understand why he would?
100%. I mean, any pocket passer would absolutely love that system. There's a ton – you watched Brady play the other night on Thursday. They're in empty, it seems like a quarter of the game. They're just spreading people out. They're getting their best receivers on the field. And they're letting Tom Brady do what he does best, which is take his time and take his checkdowns, take the completions and throw the big plays when they show up.
But what's he do better than you?
Brady?
Yeah.
Everything.
No, he doesn't do everything better than you.
He does September 13th, 2021. But, I think the one thing you watched that last drive they had where they went down the field. And the one thing Brady does in 2-minute drills is he knows defenses are scared of him. And he takes and lets the defense get a ton of depth and create cushion. I mean, you watched that last drive where they went down and kicked the field goal. He didn't throw a ball over 10 yards. He just was dinking and dunking it. And the defense was backpedaling and getting depth and giving them cushion. And he was just throwing the ball to the running backs and the tight ends, and they would step out of bounds after an 8-yard gain. And it's the same thing we've seen Brady do in New England for years. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't take chances and try to force the ball downfield. He takes what the defense gives him. And they end up with a seemingly easy drive at the end of the game for a field goal and a win.
Is Brady, 4 years older than you?
Brady is 3 years older than me. He's 44. I'm 41. It blows my mind saying that. It's crazy.
How long would it take for you to get ready to play in a game?
Oh, I mean, I could walk out and play in a game, but just as quickly as I walked in, I'd be walking off the field with a hamstring or a busted Achilles or a shoulder or something. I'm in no form to play right now.
Who was the toughest quarterback you faced?
Well, I never beat Brady. I was up. I played against Brady a bunch. I was up 21-0 in the first half in New England, and Richard Seymour took a low shot on me and almost blew my knee out. And I didn't end up finishing the game, but we were up 21-0. So I beat Brady for a half. That's my best game. I beat Brady for a half of a game.
But do you say this to your kids? Like, do you say, Dad owned Brady for one half?
I was driving home. I coached my kids' 7th grade football team, and I was driving home half the kids that live up by us, and I was dropping them off, and we're driving along, and one of the kids in the back seat told me that his second uncle, which I don't even know what a second uncle is, his second uncle tackled Tom Brady in college one time. And it really just made me made me realize how little these kids think of me. I'm their coach. They could care less that I played in the NFL. They're all out there in Russell Wilson jerseys and Seattle Seahawks gear, and they talk about Brady all the time. It drives me nuts.
They do know you played in the NFL for 15 years.
Yeah, but it's just like it was just such a blip on their radar. They couldn't wait to talk about Russell Wilson and letting Russ cook and Tom Brady. I don't even think they really realized or registered to him.
How's your USC Trojans?
That was a tough one. It's to see the stadium half full, to see us being 17-point favorites and really it really wasn't a close game. We were there were so many penalties and such a lack of discipline. It's really, really frustrating to watch those guys play this last weekend. But the good thing is it's week 2. We've got a lot of football left.
Did you you lost to Stanford on a last-second play, didn't you?
That was a long time ago, Dan. I did. That's right. I lost to Chris Lewis. They threw a smash concept, and they hit the corner at the end of the game for a touchdown on the last second. That's right. Good memory.
Yeah. I'm trying to bring up positives here. I'm sorry. It feels like I'm bringing up negatives. But you owned Tom Brady for one half.
21-0.
Yeah. Yeah. You always have that over him.
Yeah, I'm sure he remembers that too.
Hey, great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Thanks, Dan.
That's Carson Palmer. Brought to you by CBD, Level Select CBD. Provides target relief and helps treat everyday discomfort when you need it the most. This is great. It's a great product. LevelSelectCBD.com, promo code DP30, $30 off your entire order today. Not available in Idaho, Iowa, and South Dakota.